Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy CL Anthony and my main man who's back, Bryce Ward. What is going on, Bryce?
Oh, not much, man. Glad to be back. See, you guys had a good time on Sunday. I know Mike and Josh are on. It's I'm never missed too much, so I didn't mind having to take that one off. But I did miss being on with those guys, and looks like everybody had a good time.
Yeah, we had a great time talking about LaFlop, but
Oh,
that's
that's the
neither
whole
here.
league now. Don't worry about
Look, after two episodes of showing so much love to LeBron, I just had to throw that little zinger in there really quick. But we are halfway through our LeBron James career retrospective as he marches towards breaking the NBA's all-time scoring record currently held by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. As of last night and as of this recording, LeBron James is now 89 points away from surpassing Kareem. On top of that, he is one of the oldest players in the history of the NBA to have a triple double in his 20th NBA season. Bryce, how shocked are you that LeBron's still playing at this level?
it. If you would have asked me 5 or 6 years ago to just guess, I think I may have been surprised, but not compared to the last couple years. Like if you actually keep up with him every year, it's actually not surprising. And also, in terms of him being healthy, I don't know if we've ever seen someone come into the league built this way with this kind of athleticism. We talk about that anyways, like how he's a freak, right? Like he's genetically a freak, and it's rare to see someone kind of built like him with his mobility and everything, his ability to stay healthy. And well, now we're seeing it how it really pays off because I think as players get older, the injuries and the deterioration starts piling up. And the way LeBron has been able to take care of himself and being a genetic freak, he's like we're seeing some longevity and some some playing that I don't think most people could predict earlier on. But his body's holding up really well, and now I think we could get another 2, 3, 4 years before LeBron would actually start going downhill. I don't think he wants to stick around that long. I'm just saying, like, I feel like his body could hold up and he could still be valuable based on what we're seeing right now. It's impressive.
So you're saying not one, not two, not three more years of
That's
LeBron
different.
James.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he could, but he may not. He may know that his effectiveness is going downhill, and like he may not want that. You know what I mean? Like some guys want to go out on top. He has a record. I think he wants one more ring, but whether or not he gets it, we'll see.
Well, in about a week's time, unless he goes absolutely supernova and has 250-point games, which he just might, by the way. I think we're going to see LeBron break that record, and I'm pretty sure they're going to work it out to where he breaks it in LA. He might have to sit out a game or two when they work it out where he breaks it in LA. Bryce, we ended last episode again talking about the greatness of LeBron in Miami, which a lot of people, not only myself, but a lot of people think that was prime LeBron. I can say that me and you became friends right around this time. I was scared shitless because I always say after year 4, it's time for a rebuild. It's time to revamp some things. And that Heat team was tired. They went to the finals 2 or 4 years. They went to the finals all 4 years. They won 1, 2, or 4. But they were tired. They were tired. And they were facing a young team in the East, the Pacers, who had our number. And I thought in year 4, the Pacers were going to eliminate the Heat in the conference finals. I didn't think LeBron was going to leave, but I did think that the team needed to rebuild, and the team was constructed to rebuild in that offseason. My question for you is, did you think LeBron would be in Miami longer than 4 years?
Yeah, I would have thought maybe he would have re-signed one more time. But we've talked before. There's multiple reasons why we think he went to Miami, and things like that. But he went there and he learned how to win from a couple different people, and he seemed to truly have a want and a desire and a need to win Cleveland a championship. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for having such strong ties to Ohio, I'm not so sure he would have left. I think maybe he would have stuck around a little bit longer in Miami. But I truly believe he felt like he had like some sort of mission or whatever, a calling. But he left. But I would have thought originally he would have stuck around maybe like 8 years total, something like that.
Got it. Of course, when he came to Miami, I didn't think he was going to retire a Miami Heat player. I figured, just like you said, he would be there maybe about 8 years and then return to Cleveland at that point when his best days are behind him and retire Cleveland Cavalier. So when the whisper started, early in year 4, the whisper started. LeBron returned to Cleveland because they retired Zydrunas Ilgauskas' jersey in Cleveland. And LeBron came back, and I got a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I got a little nervous because there was a lot of fanfare with him being in the arena. I don't know when the conversations really started, but I think they started then.
Tampering. NBA tampering.
They all do it. So, the Heat's done it, so I'm not
Pat Riley's the king of tampering.
Yeah, we all tamper. Leading up to us playing the Pacers, which I thought was going to be the end, we actually annihilated the Pacers. And then we got to the Spurs, and we had nothing left. And Tim Duncan went absolutely bonkers on us. And, they defeated us pretty handedly, avenging their loss to us the prior year. Whispers started some more. We had some more whispers, okay? There were private jets going to Miami from Cleveland with Dan Gilbert on the jet, which is now confirmed, even though he was lying. He was like, I'm not going to Miami. He was flying to Miami. There was the cars of LeBron James being moved from Miami to Cleveland. There was LeBron's kids being registered to the schools in Cleveland over the season.
Those were like the final two straws for me. I think I was like, cars and the kid. I was like, everybody's go. Where's the steroid doctor? Is he staying in Miami or is he riding?
Right. And forgive me, I forgot to mention Prime LeBron was roided up on the last episode. But that's fine. We're gonna talk about the good, not the bad.
The whole league is. Let's not pretend like people aren't.
Well, the whole team, the whole Miami Heat team was roided up back then. I will say that. But so all the writing was on the wall, and I remember me and you talking about it, and you kind of trolling me, and I'm just like, nope, he's not leaving. Miami's giving him everything that he could have asked for. He's not leaving. He's with D Wade. They're chilling in the off season. D Wade's apparently right next to him when LeBron James is pinning his return to Cleveland. And I'm like, he's still not going anywhere. He's going to say he's going to return to Miami. But LeBron James shocked the world that offseason when he announced that, yes, indeed, he's coming home. Bryce, did you think LeBron's coming home would eventually lead to Cleveland's first professional sports championship in 50 years up until that point?
I think around that time I was a little worried if he could pull it off or not with the way Golden State and just the way the league was going. A little short-sighted. You living in the moment. It's hard to back up and see and really predict who's going to win an NBA championship. That's never easy to do. But I was afraid he'd come up short, and it would. I've never been like a LeBron homer, but being an NBA fan, you can't not talk about the situation he's in a lot, or he's a news topic. So it's not like you're not aware of what he's doing and stuff if you're paying attention to hoops at all. But I mean, without being like a homer, like I said, I wasn't sure if this was going to be like the right move for him and like his legacy and the way people like to talk about him. And so him winning the championship there, it was like in my eyes, it should have shut up all the doubters or all the critics. It's hard to knock the guy for going home and winning Cleveland a championship. You know what I mean? Like if he doesn't pull that off though, then he looks like a kind of a fool, you know, for giving up what could have been more accolades on a different team or a better chance of winning a championship on another team. But like I said, you know, when he won the Lakers, or when he won the bubble championship, it justifies whatever move he made. So as long as he can go somewhere and win a championship, it quiets the doubters in my eyes. But you can't knock a guy for going home and doing it the way he did it. That was a big move in my eyes, and actually pulling it off was even more impressive.
Yeah. He lost to Golden State a couple of times prior. He was down 3-1 to Golden State, if my memory serves me right. And he went absolutely ham in leading Cleveland back in that series. One of the rare 3-1 deficits we've seen in the finals where the team has come back to win. In that championship series, of course, it went 7 games, with Game 7 being in the Golden State, ironically, which is another feat that's insane to me. LeBron James averaged, and I'm going to round up here, 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists a game. He absolutely lost his mind in the best way, in the best way possible. Now, did he have help in this series? Yes, but the sheer magnitude of basketball prowess that he had to display in leading his team back is something that we may never see again with a deficit, you know, like that. Going back to Cleveland, he took some things that he learned in Miami as far as how to build a team, how to have stability, how to hold your front office accountable. So those things were great. And since his time in Miami, he's made 2 other stops and he's won championships in those other stops by recreating the exact same thing. Here's a question I've never asked you. And do I hate putting you on the spot? No, because we do a podcast. I like putting you on the spot. Do you think his 1 championship in Cleveland is more impactful than his 2 championships in Miami and his 1 championships with the Los Angeles Lakers?
Impactful to who?
His career.
Yeah. Only because it's been like if Cleveland or that team had more success without him or more recently, then I would say maybe not. You know, going home and winning a championship for your home team is really cool, but I wouldn't say it would stand out quite the way it is or has if they'd had more success. Mm-hmm. Like if it was from Chicago, you know, and did it on the Bulls, I wouldn't look at it the same way, I don't think. And with the Miami ones, he's just I guess because of the dynamic and how he went there to play on that team originally, I would say that the one going home and being like the guy to have to really take control of the entire situation for maybe the first time, like without a Pat Riley, without a Dwayne Wade being next to you. Yeah, I'd say it's more impressive, and I'd say it's probably bigger for his career, the first one in Cleveland.
Absolutely. And also, with returning to Cleveland, when LeBron left Cleveland, you know, one Dan Gilbert, the Cleveland Cavaliers owner, was very, very, very disappointed and very angry and had a tantrum. Yeah. How much crow do you think Dan Gilbert had to swallow in welcoming LeBron James back to Cleveland and pretty much having to acknowledge, yeah, I made a mistake, and this is your ship to run.
He should have been gagging on so much crow that he also threw up something a little bit after. Like, you know, he damn near should have given LeBron a chunk of the fucking team. Is what he should have done. He should have given him some equity.
Yeah, yeah. He had to bend over and take it. He did. He really did.
For me, it's a lesson in, just humility and kind of not always living in the moment so much that you let your emotions get the best of you, because you never know, like, when things are going to come back around. I was like right out of high school when a buddy of mine used to tell me all the time. He's like, just try not to burn bridges, even if you don't want to be around someone or be friends with someone. He goes, try to avoid that. He's like, because you just never know where people are going to be at later on in life. And that's a good example of that, because Dan Gilbert could have blown his shot of ever getting LeBron back just from the get-go. From the time he left, he could have blown that up. So that's another that's another kind of if I was LeBron, I would hold that chip on my shoulder too. Like, I was the bigger guy. I was the one that was able to go back and be the bigger man and do it for my hometown, even though I didn't like the way this guy acted with my decision. So, I'd be proud of that if I was him.
He has every right to be proud of it, to leave a stable franchise and go to a franchise that at that point hasn't shown that they were stable, a franchise that had failed you earlier and whose owner pretty much shunned you. That took a lot of balls and testicular fortitude to make that move, because in the event that LeBron hadn't brought a championship to Cleveland, I think it would have been the biggest failure of his career. Not the first time he went to the finals, but this time, because that was the specific goal, to leave somewhere that had protected you and had kind of still built you up to the next level, to go back to Cleveland. I respect the move, because a lot of men wouldn't have done that. They would have stayed cozy and cuddly in Miami and let Miami figure it out, versus going to the instability that is Cleveland. Now, LeBron did have some issues in Cleveland with leadership, some issues with one teammate, which isn't against the norm in the NBA, because when you're a great player like that, you do run into issues sometimes. Now, I will say LeBron has had less issues than other great players with teammates, but how shocked are you that him and Kyrie Irving could not figure it out at the
end? I think I was more surprised back then, of course. Now that we kind of know more about Kyrie, I'd say I'm less surprised now. Kyrie wasn't so young that he grew up idolizing LeBron. So he comes in, he gets drafted by this team, and he basically, I'm talking about Kyrie. Kyrie gets the keys to Cleveland from the start, and that's his team. He's the one cleaning up the aftermath of after LeBron was there, and he's the one that's given them all their success. Him and it was their not Bradley Beal, but what was their short shooting guard name?
Well, they had Andrew Wiggins, and then they also had Dion Waiters.
Dion Waiters, who I'm thinking of. They had a hard time making it work there, but it was basically Kyrie and Dion Waiters, and then LeBron comes back, and Kyrie just didn't fall in line the way everybody else did. He has that leader mentality, and he believes in himself. So it seemed like there was always a weird dynamic there between the two, because the golden child kind of came home. He's from here, he was here before you, but if you come in the way Kyrie comes in, then none of that really means anything to you. So it felt like a weird dynamic. It was supposed to be buddy like him and Wade, and it never like that.
Right.
I think that's what people were expecting, and it was just never like that.
it was ironic because even at the end of Cleveland, if you remember, D Wade was up there briefly. LeBron brought D Wade up there to kind of have a friend up there while he was navigating his team, outside of Kyrie and outside of Kevin Love. And D Wade was like, "Nah, this ain't this ain't it." He wasn't even there long, but he was even having locker room issues with some of the people there, and we've never really heard of D Wade having too many locker room issues. So the writing was on the wall, especially after LeBron won that championship, and then they hit year 4. The writing was on the wall. Cleveland got a little nervous again. They had dealt with it before, so this time it wasn't as bad. My question for you is, how shocked are you that after just 4 years in Cleveland, just like 4 years in Miami, LeBron was like, my job is done and I'm going to move on?
I remember, I think at one point saying, like, I didn't think he was going to leave twice.
You did. Yeah.
But I don't think that lasted too long, because I think between the talks with you and then just seeing the way some of the rumors were going, is like, well, I think everybody thinks he still has a lot of basketball left to play, and I think originally I thought he might not play as long as what we're seeing now, and so, but when that started to become more clear, I think it made sense. Like, if you're trying to win championships and you're LeBron James, then you need to go to the team that gives you the most opportunity. And, there's only a few teams like that. You got Boston, you got LA, I mean, the Lakers, of course. Like, you have a few teams that are always just good or are willing to spend money. And so I think he just put himself in the best situation in terms of trying to win another championship. Plus, you brought up that he was looking at more what's the game after basketball, and going to LA gives you pretty much every opportunity you could ever want. So it made too much sense. If he was going to keep playing basketball for a long time, it kind of made too much sense for him to go a new place else. So I think initially I was a little surprised, and then quickly realized that the writing was everywhere on the wall. So
absolutely. His time in Cleveland, the second stint, was special because we saw LeBron do something that we haven't seen since the 1960s. We saw a player, well, actually, we've never seen this before because he did it with 2 different franchises, but we saw a player go to the NBA Finals for 8 straight years. 4 in Miami, 4 in Cleveland, with 3 championships won in that span. If we want to get technical to it, he went 8 straight years, but he also went 9 out of 10 years in a row. How impressive of a feat is that? Because we've never seen that before. A player go to the finals 8 straight years with 2 different teams. How impressive is that?
It's one of the most impressive feats we'll ever see in sports, and it's one of the more impressive feats that we'll ever actually get to, you and me, see, I think, in real time. So yeah, he only got 3 championships out of that, but this is where opinions and the debate about the guy's legacy can really go all over the place, because I'll argue that, like, some of the teams that he had to play against are some of the greatest dynasties that we've ever seen in basketball, period. Those Spurs teams, like, yeah, he was catching some of the end of that. The Spurs teams that he had to play against, they had some of the same personnel that was able to beat Shaq and Kobe. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got to see the renaissance of the 3 ball with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors break that Bulls team record. And I know they lost. That's the year they lost the championship, of course. But I'm saying we saw this evolution of not just a team, but the way that an offense could be played. And Golden State became just this razor of a team that seemed unstoppable at times.
Right, right.
We got to see the Heat play against the Mavs and see Dirk arguably put up one of the greatest performances, not just in the finals, but in the playoffs period, against everybody. So the fact that he did go there to the finals, LeBron went there so many 9 out of 10 years, 8 in a row, and only get 3 championships, I still think is a testament to like his will and what he's able to bring to the basketball court, because he was going up against real legendary dynasties in some of these situations. And I don't really know. I think the further we get away from those situations, the more lenient people will be in terms of how they judge LeBron James championships compared to when they were actually happening. Because I just don't think there's certain things one player can do, like by himself against. Now, maybe 30, 40 years ago, yeah, that's a different story. LeBron might have come out with 8, 9 championships because of that. But I just don't think he can do it like that anymore. So I still think that just going to the finals, like that means he dominated the East for 9 years, you know. That's impressive. That's super impressive. And something I don't think we're going to see. We're not going to see anything like that for a long, long time. The consistency.
Yeah, and I just want to I want to highlight this 8-year stretch, because we kind of touched on this on last episode in the Miami years, but outside of 1 year, his greatness in the NBA Finals, 29 points, 34 points, 33 points, 29 points, 35 points, 28 points, 25 points, 28 points, and then, of course, the 2011 shit show, 17 points a game. LeBron James has been absolutely phenomenal in that 8-year stretch, and it is a testament to his greatness. I did forget in 2011 he scored 17 points a game. I forgot about that. Yikes, that's his lowest number. But he is, again, and I admitted this yesterday. I told a story. I've told you this before offline. When he first came to Miami, probably about 3 to 4 months in, I was watching a game. I don't remember who the fuck they were playing. And I was like, I think I just seen the greatest basketball player I've ever seen in my life. So I'm just like, he was doing I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. I have not. And that's hard because I'm a Wade guy. But I finally admit it. Yes, LeBron James is the best player on the goddamn team. So, after Cleveland, LeBron decided that there's going to be another change, the ending chapter of his career, I think, and we would definitely deep dive into that on the next episode. If you could say one thing about LeBron's second stint in Cleveland, what would you say?
I'm trying to think. The first thing I thought of was like inspiring. It's inspired to see someone go home and do that. But the other word I was trying to think of, and I was like just blanking on it, is kind of like justification. Like I think as much as everybody else wanted to see that happen, when LeBron James decided to go to Cleveland, he put so much pressure on himself. And so for him to actually see that through, the justification of it, or you know, that was impressive.
It was absolutely impressive. And again, kudos to LeBron there was no hard feelings for him leaving Miami. There was actually relief. I got my team back. But I'm happy that LeBron was able to complete that mission. Now, the next mission, I didn't think he was going to complete. But we'll talk about that on the next episode in
Mhm.
part 4 of our LeBron career retrospective. And hopefully very soon there may even be a part 5 when we celebrate the actual passing of the NBA's all-time scoring record.
Look at this rate, we'll have to talk about it on the Sunday's podcast.
Oh yeah. We're gonna that was already planned. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, and we may have some guests on Sunday. So that's gonna be it for the Hardwood Nations podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share our content. Drop comments below. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Tell us you love LeBron James. Hey, for example, for all the people that watch this that loves LeBron James, give us a like. Let us know. We are out. Everyone stay safe.